Good morning. It is Monday. That means it is math day. And today we're going to talk about time. So, your learning target today mirrors on. I can tell time to the hour and half hour. Mirrors off. Now, half is when you break or divide a whole into two pieces, two equal pieces. And equal means that they're the same. So here we have a circle that I have divided in half. And there are multiple ways to do a half if we're doing a shape. So I might do it this way. I do it that way. As long as they are the same on both sides, and you divided it into two equal parts, that is a half. Now, since we're talking about time today, I've got my clock here. There's only one way to divide an hour on a clock, that is. And that is straight through the middle, just like this. Now, remember, we tell time with three different measurements. We have seconds, minutes, excuse me, allergies this morning, seconds, minutes, and hours. And when we tell time, so we have seconds, and seconds are the quickest measurement of time. It's like when we look at a clock, it's the very small hand that just keeps moving and never stops. Minutes and minutes are the big long hand. And I'm going to do this in two colors just to remind you. And hours. Hours are the longest. Seconds are the shortest. Minutes are kind of in the middle. Hours are the longest. And hours are represented by the shorthand. So if I were to look at this clock, I can see that my short red hand is pointing to the 2, and I know that when the big hand is straight up and down, I'm pointing at the 12, it is the top of the hour, or o'clock. So in this case, it is 2 o'clock. And when I draw that with a digital clock, it might look something like this. And digital clocks are the clocks we have on our phones, our tablets, our Chromebooks, our iPads, things like that. Now, remember, as this hand goes around, it might kind of point between the numbers sometimes, but we're counting by ones when we're counting the hours. So here it's 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm not going to show you all of them. Oops, hold on. 7, and so on. So when the minute hand and the hour hand are both pointing to the 12, it looks something like this. 12 o'clock. And that might be midnight or noon. We just don't know. It's one of the hard parts about this type of clock. Well, it's not that hard to know. You just look outside. If you see sunlight, it's probably noon. If you don't, you should go to bed. It's midnight. All right. So now, as long as this number is always, or this hand, the long hand is always pointed up, it's always 12 o'clock. Now, because we're talking about half hour, where do you think a half hour might be using what we know? You're right. Half hour went straight down. And that looks something like this on a digital clock. So just for ease, I'm going to make my hour hand point straight up. Here's where it gets tricky, because it's not 12:06. It's 12:30. And here's why. You ready? All right. Because, see these little tick marks right here? It's kind of hard to see. But in between each number, there's going to be some more little tick marks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we count by fives, 5, count with me, ready? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Look there. So when we're counting the minutes, we count these numbers by 5. So we've got 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You see me pointing down here. So anytime we have the minute hand pointing at the 6, it is always 30 because we have to count by fives. So this would be what? 3, 30. Good. I'm going to give you a hard one. Oops, made it too long. That's right. 6, 30. That's right. 10, 30. So remember, when you see one of these old-fashioned clocks like Mr. Lee wears on his wrist, and we've got the two hands, the hour hand, remember, hours, and the minute hand, minutes. When we see minutes, we count by fives. So now you can tell time to the hour, right? 10 o'clock, or the half hour, 10:30. All right. I will see you all soon, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye. I'm just going to awkwardly sit here until this thing stops. Bye.